Hey guys, yesterday me and Funky Steve, my old friend from art school, recorded our very first podcast together. It was a lot of fun. It was an open conversation about our top 5 favorite consoles of all time. I wish I had prepared a little bit better though, because I didn't have any mic stands available and we held the mics like this, talking, and obviously the sound quality isn't consistent and there's some noise here and there, but I wanted to share this because everything has to start somewhere. And we just had a really open conversation. You might see another side of me that you see on the channel regularly because there's some profanity here and there, and I'm just a very enthusiastic person. Sometimes I just speak before I even have finished my thought. And you gotta imagine we're both Dutch, so we're speaking in English and improvising, so we have to get used to it. But we had so much fun, and we're looking forward to many more episodes. And the podcast is called Journey to Silius. Enjoy, guys. Hey there, welcome to the Journey to Silius podcast. I am Dennis the Menace.
And I'm Funky Steve.
This is our very first edition of the podcast, and for today I've prepared a special topic. I want to talk about our top 5 favorite consoles. What do you think about that, Steve?
Ooh, there's gonna be war.
I'm sure there will be. Well, I was thinking about this last night, and if you make a top 5 of your favorite consoles, gotta be your favorite consoles for personal reasons.
Yes, not just the best or the one that are most significant in gaming history, but your personal favorites. As sentimental as possible.
As sentimental as possible. You're
Yes.
goddamn right. Because 2 or 3 months back, I bought myself a PC Engine, and I think it's one of the coolest consoles of all time, and it should be up there, but it's not. It's no fair. I've never played on it in my youth, or I've even only played 2 games on it: Bonk's Adventure and Space Harrier. Oh, and Dragon Spirit, by the way.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
but it's a very cool little thing. But
But Space Harrier is a Sega game.
I know, yeah, there were a few Sega games for the PC Engine. Sega Lord X is a very good YouTube channel about Sega, by the way, and he did a great video about that. PC Engines on the PC Engines. I mean, Sega games on the PC Engine.
Yeah.
But
I always feel kind of odd about that. I feel like if I'm playing a Sega game on a non-Sega console, it feels like I'm cheating.
Oh man, speaking of which, before we get into our top 5s, what do you think about the Sega Genesis being on the Nintendo Switch Online now? I'm not asking you about the ridiculous prices, but that idea, it's so weird. And you can also buy a Switch controller, a Sega Genesis Switch controller, made by Nintendo. It has both their logos on the back. It's ridiculous.
I didn't know that. I thought they would be made by Sega. But,
It's $50.
Ooh. Yeah.
$50.
Yeah, it's gonna be scalped in like a hot minute.
It's
Yeah.
That's already going on.
Well, there's this saying, right? The winner receives the spoils.
Yeah, to the victor go the
To
spoils.
the victor go the spoils. Yeah, I think it's sort of like that. But I think that already happened when they released Sonic Mega Collection on the GameCube. I think that was the first. Yeah.
Yeah, I played a lot of Sonic stuff on Xbox as well, but
Yeah.
that's not as bad.
No, it's like third party, you know. It's like no one was involved, you know.
Yeah.
The Xbox.
No one was hurt.
Yeah, no. The Xbox was like a baby, like when the 16-bit war was going on, you know.
It was a small baby growing in the back.
Yeah. In the back of what's the guy's name? The Microsoft guy.
Oh, Bill Gates.
Yeah, it was growing in Bill Gates.
A fetus growing out of his back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, come to think about that famous commercial.
I watched it after you told me.
Yeah.
The what was it called again?
Well, I'm not sure how it's called again, but he basically goes through his entire life.
Life is short, play more.
Yeah, life is short, play more.
Yeah,
That was it.
Yeah.
But it was actually like, like, like they started with that commercial. You saw the whole life of this person, was born and died, and probably got reincarnated, and that's where he stayed, in the back.
Yeah.
The Xbox baby, who suddenly became a teenager with the 360 and the Xbox One, so to speak. But I always thought it was fascinating that the PS2 won that round completely, but the Xbox still managed to survive in the background to grow an audience and an original fan base. There are a lot of diehard Xbox fans.
Definitely. I think
thank God.
Yeah.
To balance it out.
Yeah, to balance it out. Yeah. No, I think the winner of the console war is usually the console that has the most third-party support. It went with the NES. It went with the Super Nintendo. It went with the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. They all had the most releases on the console. And I think that's a big decision maker. Yeah. But we're gonna hear... Today we're going to talk about our top 5 consoles.
Yes, our personal top 5s.
Yeah.
Well, do you want me to start off, or do you want to start off?
No, you start.
I'll start.
Yeah.
I'm going to go by it very quickly in my head right now.
Yeah.
So I have it in the exact right order, because we're starting at number 5. And... well, here it goes. Number 5, the Xbox 360.
Huh. Tell me more.
Yeah. Well, the Xbox 360 came at a very special point in my life. It was before I got to college. I was working a lot in the cinema, earning pretty well. I lived downtown, and after a while I was like, I've actually money to spend, and I want something else besides playing guitar. I still had my Nintendo 64 and my NES, but I wanted something current gen. And it was like 2010, so the console was already out for a few years. But
you were a bit late to the release.
Very late to the release. I was living downtown in Harderwijk, and back then you still had the free record shop. Remember? That
was a good store.
It was a really good store, and I actually had to walk 20 meters, no more, no less. I went downstairs. I lived above a restaurant. Went downstairs, went to the free record shop. All right, I want that one.
It's like living next to McDonald's, man. It's risky.
I know.
It's very risky.
A lot of my money went into media of that sense. But I bought a later rendition, the black one. It came with Halo Reach and Fable 3.
Yeah.
It didn't have the physical button that you had to press. It's kind of like a touchscreen thingy, you know.
I hate those things. The PlayStation 4 has that too, and I'm every time waving in front of it, like you're in the bathroom of a restaurant. You're trying to get the water out of the tap. It's like that. I'm like, go on.
Very typical. But it's I like to look a little bit better than the white one. Most white consoles get dirty, by the way, very fast as well. You also see that with my Xbox One, because it's a matte finish. It's not a glossy finish. So the Wii had a glossy finish, and that didn't get dirty as quick. But back to my experience with the 360. I had some money to spend, so I went for a lot of cool titles, and a few friends of mine were very excited that I got a console. So they were like, "Oh, you have to buy this, you have to buy that," and at some evenings I was watching my friends play through games and enjoying it, and this is amazing story. But it's such an important console because when I went to college, it went with me. And everything was done on the thing. YouTubing, watching my DVDs, listening music. Every game. Like even to the point when I was having a lady over, you know, music, always via the Xbox, and but as a gaming console self, it was really consistent for me, and it had a lot of years of fun.
And what about the games? Which games do you remember?
Well, like I said, my very favorite game that came was the one that kind of came with it, Halo Reach.
I've never played that Halo.
Yeah, I really loved the music and the atmosphere, and it kind of built a little bit more slowly. And therefore, when the Covenant entered a mission or entered the game, it was a bigger surprise. Yeah, you knew they were coming, but it was handled very well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And well, I also played a lot of licensed games. I was way into, I know, right? I was way into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
So I had like Captain America, Iron Man 2.
Yeah. But wasn't any good?
Captain America was really good, but that is going to get me to one of my favorite games for the console, and that is Batman Arkham Asylum.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was
I also
great.
played Arkham City, but Arkham Asylum was so good. That's probably my favorite game.
Yeah, I thought it was so good as well. Yeah. I was also a bit disappointed with Arkham City. It was just a bit. I don't think
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. I'm also not a big fan of open world games. I just like it small and you know.
You don't want option paralysis, right?
Also, yes, but I think there's like a lot of like worth in linear storytelling. You know, when we watch movies, when we read a book, it's all being told by the author in like a certain order, and he's
the hero's journey, like Joseph Campbell, like the Greek mythologies, where used to a certain structure in storytelling.
Yeah, also that, but also like you can't. Besides that, also that's also great, but you can't read a book out of order.
Nope.
You can't do that. But with a game, with open world game, you're constantly playing it out of order, and it's going every way. And I think linear game design is so interesting because it takes more of a perspective of a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Or writer. And I don't know if you've ever watched a Netflix Choose Your Own Adventure.
No.
But it's not as good as watching a normal movie. And that's kind of my experience with open world games. I'd rather have this mind, like planning everything for me. And Arkham Asylum did that really well. I think there's some freedom, but once you're in a level, if you can call it a level,
you will be guided.
You will be guided, and I think like those little visuals that happen and little sound effects, they create a certain rhythm, and I miss that rhythm in open world games.
That's a very good point, indeed, because I also am not the biggest fan of open world games because of the option paralysis. I like it with a JRPG, but I like if you watch how many hours I've been playing Dragon Quest 8. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, especially considering how far I am into the game. Because every 3 steps I take like 7 sideways. You know, I explore the shit out of everything, and in open world games, that kind of is the purpose. But I like to grind as well in the meantime, you know.
And like grinding?
I actually love grinding.
Really?
It's soothing. Like yesterday, I was watching a very big YouTube film, and I just had my 3DS set up here, and I'm just grinding away. And after a while, I encountered, I believe it was a liquid metal slime, but they're pretty rare, and they give a lot of experience and gold and stuff. And I felt proud, but also seeing my characters level, and I need to spend some skill points. It's really soothing, man. It's really soothing. So sometimes when I'm a bit anxious, I just lie on my bed, pillow in my neck, and play Dragon Quest
And
for an hour.
Just grind.
Just grind and just a little bit of story development. I don't want to play through the game that quickly because I want to serve the story to myself with small bites, so to speak. You know.
Well, I get that. You know, you can decide when you want the story and in what amount, and I get that. Yeah, I never really got into grinding. I have a lot of trouble playing RPGs. I think the RPGs I can play are the ones where the enemies are on the world map. Like, like Chrono Trigger or Earthbound. You can see them coming. Yeah. And that doesn't give me that anxious feeling from oh shit, something's coming, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great point as well. But back to our top 5.
Yes.
That's my number 5 basically because it's been with me for all these years through my college time, and I consciously decided to get back into console gaming, and I went into the shop and I could choose between the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and I was like, Xbox 360, let's do this. Let's start this relationship.
It was your gateway drug.
It was a gateway drug into modern gaming for me because also because of the music. I've been in a lot of bands. Like when I was 14, I kind of stopped gaming. I gamed on the PC, I stopped with console gaming, and I think I picked it back up for myself when I was 19 or 20 or something. So there was a big gap there. A lot of stuff I missed.
It's like an old flame coming back in your life.
That's right. So that's my number 5, the Xbox 360.
Okay.
So over to you, Funky Steve. Your number 5. Drum rolls.
The Nintendo Game Boy.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. My number 5 is the original black and white Game Boy.
You fucking cheat.
Am I not allowed to use handhelds?
I had to make the rules a little bit more clear because probably if they were allowed, my top 5 would be different as well. But I totally feel you here. Let's roll with it.
Yeah.
The original brick, right?
Well, I played it most, I believe, on the Super Game Boy. So it's a bit cheating, but okay. Let's go for it. No, I grew up with a Game Boy. I bought was the first
DMG.
Yeah, the first one I got for myself. It was the blue one with I believe Asterix. Not a very good game. It was very hard. I couldn't get past like the 3rd level, but I was really getting more conscious about what I wanted to buy for myself, which kind of games. And I think the games that define the system for me are the Marioland games. I think those are not talked about enough.
I agree.
Yeah. I got Super Mario Land 2 also.
Yeah.
My mom wanted me to learn how to ride my bike, so I'll go outside more. And she promised me if I learned that, she would get me Super Mario Land 2. Well, the joke was on her because I never went outside anymore. I was just playing Mario Land 2 all day.
Collecting those 6 golden coins.
Yeah. I think...
the music of that game.
Yeah, the music is brilliant. Sometimes I still think about that Halloween level. It has this really creepy music with like this weird scratching going on.
Yeah.
And but you've played it as a kid also, or?
Yes, Mario Land 1 and 2 I've played as a kid.
Yeah.
Because I played it on the pocket of my friend Robin Nijhoff. Hey, shout out Robin. I played it on his pocket, and later when I got the Game Boy Color, one of my favorite systems of all time.
Yeah.
I played it a lot on there. And well, it's kind of the music of the first level is already amazing. Like the da 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 da. It's so cleverly written. Like they knew how to write the notes that would be most endearing. You know.
Yeah. What kind of notes are that? What are those majors?
Majors, but it's the context in which they were put in. So I have to say that a lot of those composers look to make everything as major as possible. So the most happy notes.
Yeah.
But in a major scale, you also need some minor stuff here and there. But they use like the bare minimum of it. And then later. Oh, I love.
For our audience at home, Dennis is the music guy, so I'm always interested to know what he thinks about music because he has this unique perspective on it. And you're I agree. Super Mario Land, the time I started up, even like the little tune you hear when you go past the title screen and you're like in the file select screen with the tubes, that also has a great little tune. It's like really low key, but
really awesome.
It gets you excited, you know?
Yeah.
And
that's it. It's music that gets you excited to play, like every single step. And if you fall to your death, it's like, that's my own fault. Come on, let's get back to it. This game doesn't suck, you know.
Yeah, but I think that is something I really miss in modern gaming. The music.
Yeah.
Everything has become a lot more cinematic.
Atmospheric.
Atmospheric, and well, that's nice. I don't think. I think the core of video game music is the bleeps and bloops. The 16-bit, the 8-bit, and I think a lot of those atmospheric movies, soundtracks are they're trying to emulate a movie.
Mm-hmm.
They want to like say, I'm not a video game, I'm cooler, I'm a movie.
Yeah.
You know, but I really miss the music. There's no music nowadays that I can hum.
Nope. The same thing is going on in movies, so they're emulating movies that stray way more from a simple composition. I think they're like, oh, this game doesn't warrant a composition. But if you take like the Superman theme, how amazingly recognizable is that? Or the Jaws theme, or things like that. And the early video games have that as well. There was actually a composer that was like, I need to think of a melody, a great melody, and a melody structure after that. After that, they were songs. They were amazing to play also in a jazz setting. But it wasn't a composer just behind his keyboards or writing string arrangements to add to an atmosphere. Obviously, that's very important, but I miss that as well. You need to hum that shit.
Yeah.
Be able to hum that shit.
That's important, yeah. But, the Game Boy.
Game Boy.
Why I picked it as number 5. I own a lot of Game Boy games, actually. It's the only games I didn't sell along the way, you know?
Yeah.
So everything just kept adding to it. And
why would you sell them, right?
In hindsight, you know, always hindsight.
Yeah.
But no, I think there's with the Game Boy you can also like kind of experience the NES games, because that I'm 30 right now. I'm getting 30. And the NES was way before my time, but the Game Boy had so many NES ports.
Yep.
And things like DuckTales and Darkwing Duck and a lot of Konami games. It was also a way for me to experience these older games in black and white. But you know, I love black and white, so
Yeah, cinematic black and white as well.
Yeah,
I know that about you. Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
I think the black and white really works, and I never saw it as a step down. To me, it felt like a style choice. You know?
Yeah, for me as well.
Yeah. And the Super Game Boy had all these options. You know, you can like adjust the colors and draw on it, and
the borders.
You could totally personalize everything. And I would usually bring my Game Boy if I was going with my parents to some place I didn't want to go, and I just had this trusty sidekick with me, you know.
Yeah.
And at home, I could play on my Super Nintendo. I could play the Game Boy games. Match made in heaven.
Yeah, it was a marriage.
yeah. It was really good. And if I can name another game that I found really striking, Mole Mania.
Well, a Mole Mania. It seems to be about moles.
Yes.
They're cute.
Yeah, it is Shigeru Miyamoto's Forgotten Hidden Gem.
Oh.
Yeah, he directed this game. You play as a mole, and it's very puzzle-based gameplay.
Yeah.
But you can go underground, and you can come up in some other place. So you can manipulate these boulders, so you can block things for enemies, or you can like squash enemies.
Oh, that's cool.
But the game just goes on and on and on and on, and every new level they add these new game mechanics, and you're like, whoa, where'd they get this from? It's really a
You have it since you were young, right? That game, or is it?
No, I bought it later, but I was amazed by it.
Yeah, I asked because I now want to know: is it at a reasonable price?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Well, you can. Okay, the Western version is like 40-50 euros, but if you get the Japanese version, it's 12.
Oh, okay.
So you know, it's still findable.
Yeah.
But the Game Boy. Great library. There are a lot of hidden gems in there, and I think for a lot of people it was their first handheld.
Yeah, and the fact that it's lasted so ridiculously long. That's so cool. It's a testament to gaming history. I love it.
Definitely. So, I think it's time to go to your number 4.
Yes, it is. And my number 4, here it goes. It's the Nintendo Wii. Oh yeah,
Good choice.
It's the Nintendo
Good
Wii.
choice.
I absolutely adore the Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii came into my life at a very special time, even more special than the 360, because not a lot of people who watch my channel know this, but in 2008 I lost my kid sister. She was 17 and I was 19, and me and my parents had a rough time trying to get over that. But what I do remember is that I was showered with love in that time, and me and my dad and my mom, we all grew closer together. And that holiday season, we decided to buy the Wii. I already had seen the Wii in previous years at a friend's place and at my sister's boyfriend, which was a very good friend of me as well. And we actually bought it in 2008. It was released in 2006. So 2 years later, that's not bad for me. I get late into every system. But even though it was a very hard time, we played so much Wii, and my mom got obviously into it, and my dad and Tanya was around a lot, and a lot of other friends, and we all made these little characters, these Mii characters. And I still have that Wii now. I have 2 Wiis. I also have the Wii Mini because I really love the design. I bought it later. But I will never, ever, ever sell my original Wii because it's to the brink filled with memories. And while I was working out a lot last few years, sometimes I wanted to do some cardio, and I actually jogged in front of my Wii, and I saw my dog, Taya, my mother, my dad walking by with their Mii's, and it's so weird. Even now when my dad isn't around, it gives me it just gives me a warm feeling. And
it's presence.
It's presence, yeah. And Yeah, I know a lot of people think game-wise it wasn't the best system because the third-party support was, yeah, I'm not sure if lackluster is the right word, but it couldn't compete with the same games on the other systems.
Yeah.
And still, I bought a ton of shit. Shit, like the Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Stuff. I'm not sure. The very worst Sonic game I managed to buy, Sonic and the Secret Rings, full price, mind you, 60 euros.
Yeah.
And I actually have, well, it's not a big collection, but it's one of my biggest game collections, the Wii. And I haven't sold any of my Wii games, and I'm still looking to add. And that's why I was also very, what is the word? Well, let's just put it like this. I didn't hate Metroid Other M like everyone who loves Metroid. I loved it because I put the game in and I saw immediately what they were going for.
Yeah.
This was a Metroid game specifically for the Wii. And with those, utilizing those controls and stuff. And I think, I quickly want to make this point, but I think that the Wii will also be a console in the future that will have very big significance in the technology development side, and I think it will become highly collectible because we all straight from the motion controls.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks it sucks right now, but I think in the years to come, maybe 5, 10, 20 years. It's my little fantasy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's stuff like Beat Saber. You know that game? Yeah, that's also like motion controls. But yeah, they were really pushing it in a lot of games. You know, where it wasn't needed, where it wasn't needed, they put the motion controls in. But
Yeah.
what I thought was really brilliant about the Wii Remote was the sensor. If you were playing Metroid Prime, it was so precise and responsive. And Resident Evil 4, it played like a dream. It was like a marriage between a controller and a mouse.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
And it's also, I actually got the idea from Jason at Metal Jesus Rocks. He explained that the Wii can be a very interesting arcade system in your home if you specialize in rail shooters.
Oh yes, definitely.
So that's what I did at my birthday. I thought, wow, I can kind of have that arcade experience at home. So I bought 2 games, and I have the 2 Wii Motion Plus, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's so accurate, and the games are fantastic ports. That's what I have to say as well. Arcade ports of all the games are fantastic for the Wii. I have the Samurai Showdown collection. It's so accurate and true to the original. It really is the original. And House of the Dead, I believe.
House of the Dead 2 and 3. Definitely. Yeah.
So that's and the SNK collections. And
Metal Slug collections.
And I believe Donkey Kong Country had a reimagining or a reboot on the Wii.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
That's what I was waiting for. What I loved about the Wii is that they brought 2D gaming back. 2D gaming was kind of irrelevant when 3D gaming came. Everybody wanted to play 3D, but
all those Saturn games are crying in the back now. All those beautiful.
But when they released New Super Mario Brothers and Donkey Country Returns, after a while Rayman Origins came, and I thought I was back in love again. I love 2D gaming, and especially Donkey Country. And when that came back, I was like, yes, finally, we don't snub our noses anymore at 2D gaming. Finally.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a well-made point, man. The Wii did a lot for gaming and brought us close together. Like, I believe my story isn't the only instance where that happened.
I think that's really special because a lot of parents find it really awkward to play video games with their kids because it's often too complicated or too fast. And yeah, the Wii was the family console for better or for worse.
Yeah.
But I totally understand your point that it made it accessible, and my best gaming memories are also from playing with my dad.
Yeah.
It didn't happen that often because he tried to, but it was hard. But when it did happen, total magic.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to say about the Wii in this top 5. I can go on for hours because I love it so much. So that was my number 4, I believe, and now we're going to your number 4.
Yes. Down to the nitty gritty.
Bring it on.
My number 4 is the original Xbox.
Oh.
Yes.
I was expecting that a little bit higher up there, man. But yes.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
The original Xbox. Well, it wasn't my decision to get it. Let's begin there. I wanted a GameCube, but my brother wanted to play shooters, and he was in his, I guess mid-teens. So it's kind of this period where you kind of lose touch with your childhood sense for a bit. You stop watching Disney movies.
Yep.
You stop watching cartoons. So he was in that period, and he said, well, we're gonna get an Xbox. It's the meanest, biggest, blackest machine, and we're gonna play on it. But it was all okay, because when he brought home that Xbox, there was one special disc that came with it, and that disc was Sega GT 2002, which I didn't care about because it was a racing game. But on the other part of the disc was Jet Set Radio Future.
Oh, you told me about that.
Yeah, and I'm still in love with that game. It's still one of my favorite games of all time. I think it was also my first conscious contact with Sega as a gaming company. And yeah, this whole game was cel-shaded. I mean, if you wanted to blow my mind as a kid, it was cel-shaded gaming. It looked amazing. It played really well, and yeah, it's just like amazing music, so much personality. It was just everything. And that was the cool thing about the Xbox. There were a lot of Sega exclusives on it. The Panzer Dragoon game and Outrun 2, and we got a sequel to Outrun. Can you imagine that? like 20 years later, you're getting a sequel to Outrun.
Yeah, I played it with Shane actually. It's very cool.
Yeah. And so because of the Sega games, that was really cool. But also the Xbox had things like GTA, and GTA Vice City became my little pearl. And if I had a GameCube, I could never play GTA.
No. Basically, if you have a Switch right now, you can play it soon.
Yeah,
it's really crazy, by the way. But I played GTA on a PS2, but never seen it on the Xbox.
Well, that's a funny part, because when that game released, it was like 2002, maybe 2001.
Yeah,
I was like a kid, and everyone we were like 10 years old playing GTA. Yeah. And everyone in my class had already played GTA Vice City, and they were going on and on and on and on and on about it.
You had to play catch up.
Yeah, because the Xbox version came like 1 year later.
Oh, yeah, typical.
So when it eventually got there, it was packaged with GTA 3, and I had to beg my parents to get it, and I had to explain to them, no, you're not paying for one game, you're paying for 2 games. And when I got it, it was magical, and it was everything they talked about.
Yeah.
So when I came to school next day, I was finally playing GTA Vice City, and you were like, who cares?
Oh man, that happened to me so many times in my life.
Yeah.
Always late to the party and getting excited over stuff. Also with the Evercade now, I'm like a year later, I'm like a child getting excited making these videos, and the community likes to see me join in about the Evercade, but I'm like an echo chorus, chorus. But the GTA games, awesome. But I have the same thing with Switch right now. I'm waiting for releases on the Switch that have come on the Xbox or PS4 before, for example.
There's like this
came out.
Yeah, there's a lot of remakes also. There's like this Dragoon remake also released on the Switch.
Oh,
the first one.
That's Sega exclusive Xbox game. Right?
No, that was on the Saturn. But
Okay,
I played it on the Xbox because the Panzer Dragoon game on Xbox came with the first Panzer Dragoon game.
Oh yeah,
It's
like you explained. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a very good investment to just get the Xbox game because you get 2 great games.
Oh man.
But beside that, the Xbox always, it is what if I want to play like the more mature games, the more action-heavy games, I go to the Xbox.
Yeah.
Even though the Xbox has a lot of great 3D platforms, also things like Voodoo Vince and there's of course the Psychonauts version also.
Oh yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, I still want to play part 2, but my computer is like not ready for that.
I'm probably gonna buy it for the Xbox One.
Oh yeah.
But I also have a small question, or it's not even a small question about the Xbox. The Xbox was a start, obviously not the start of a company, but the start of a console, and which had a lot of successors, obviously, or a lot, like 3 right now. But what do you think about? Oh, this is a hard question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
No,
but about its identity, like Nintendo and Sega have such Atari, such big firm identities. You can, and that's also their trap. They're companies. They're out there to make big bucks, but you kind of feel like you identify with them, and that's like I love almost everything Sony has done, but I can't identify for one bit with that company, with that brand. I'm not sure what it is. I have the most beautiful memories about it, but no. I'm not sure what it is. I have it still to this day with Sony. And I was wondering what you were thinking about. They entered the market like here we are, Xbox, and where you have Sega here, you have Nintendo, you have Sony, and now we're here. And like they had to earn their identity and their fan base.
That's a good one.
It's not really a question.
Yeah, it's aiming for a question. No, I get what you mean. I also don't feel anything with PlayStation. I've never owned a PlayStation for long. I've always sold it after a while because I felt like it wasn't speaking to me, you know? And maybe I think that's also the problem with Xbox. I think Xbox doesn't have enough first-party franchises that make you want to invest in the next system, that make you want to come back.
Yeah.
And I think, the Genesis commercials were always a bit edgy.
Yeah.
You know, but I think Xbox was like the Genesis commercials on steroids. It was very bro. It was very.
There's identity right there, you know.
It's definitely identity. It's
And also the green and the big ass controller and. They've always stuck with that green, by the way. So
that's true. Yeah. No, I think the original Xbox to me is the most appealing. I think that the library has the most identity. I think they kind of with the Xbox 360 it became this third party.
Almost third party emulator, not an emulator, but and.
I don't think there were enough first-party Xbox games to make the leap to the Xbox 360. No, Xbox was just it's just also just a great console to have in the house. You can it's easy to mod. I think
the games are affordable. They look great. It's. I believe it was the sixth generation of gaming, and I saw Gaming Off the Grid do a video about what their favorite generations were, and that was very interesting. But the sixth generation landed on number 1, and they mentioned the Xbox as well, and obviously the PS2, and also referencing modern games like now. The 3D polygon era was kind of perfected later, but was a little bit perfected there, you know. And they still, after seeing all those games, even on the PS5, think that was the time. You know? And that's
the PS1 is like cave drawings, you know, and when the PS2 comes, it's like, you know, it's matured, it's developed.
Which leads me to my number 3.
Yes.
Which is the PlayStation 1.
Oh.
It is the PlayStation 1.
Okay.
I have so much memories playing the PlayStation 1, especially with my sister. I've lived in a town called Barneveld for a very long time, and after a while my parents decided to move into the woods. We had a small little farm, a very small town it was, and it was beautiful. We got to run around. We saw deers. Maybe that's what my name also comes from, Thundermoose. I'm not sure. But we saw a lot of them in the morning. It was a beautiful time. But we also couldn't really connect with our friends that we left behind. Internet was still up and coming, and chat boxes were still up and coming. But I knew my friends back there had PlayStation already. So my dad basically bought us a PlayStation, and a lot of my gaming memories from there on were on the PlayStation. So I had to discover a lot of new franchises like Crash Bandicoot, but also Rayman, Oddworld, and stuff like that. And it was, I had to make the argument that it was the best playing system at that time. Also graphic-wise, I played a lot of PC at that time too, so I was also always a little bit a PC snob. Like, consoles can't do what the PC can, you know, because... and I've been like that for a very long time. But, well, let's give the PlayStation a try. I was kind of skeptical at first because, Sony, they make Walkmans, you know. I was still like that. They make Walkmans. I had a lot of Sony Walkmans, and then all of a sudden there was the PlayStation. But it was already out for like 2 or 3 years. I played it at a friend's house, and then we got it obviously late to the party. But I finished a lot of games on it as well, and I wasn't really a game finisher because my attention was all over the place, and I liked a lot of different stuff. But I remember finishing Crash Bandicoot 1, 2. And I believe even 3, and Ridge Racer I played, Tekken, and a lot of franchises saw their debut on that system. And I really loved the intro, like when you put the system
sound,
up.
Yeah, definitely.
And, but the thing is, I have this YouTube channel, and I still haven't got a PlayStation.
Really?
Nope. That is still packed away. That box of memories for me to open and discover. I'm looking forward to that. It's on the horizon. I'm going to buy one soon, and those I'm going to play those games. But I'm really curious what I trigger here, you know, because I've played them all with my sister. That was my biggest gaming memory with her. Playing the PlayStation. We had a huge ass CRT. Like huge, that the previous owners of the house left behind, and it was in the attic, and we could sit in front of it, and it was larger than us still. We were small, we were on our knees, but it was really big, and so many great memories of that system. But I didn't really, after that, I didn't really identify myself with the company anymore.
No.
And a lot of people wonder why I don't talk about the PS2 so much, but I actually really like cartridge systems and CDs. Well, I didn't. I was a slob, right? I was a fucking slob. They were all over
you were
the
one
place.
of those kids.
Yeah, I was. So
disgusting.
disgusting now, but a lot of those CDs didn't make it, which leads me to my second point, of which I shouldn't complain probably.
Yeah.
But I got PS2 after a while, and it was disc read error all over the place. And after a while, with new games I bought as well, the laser just gave in after a year and a half. And I went to the shop that I bought it from, and they said, well, fixing that is probably way more expensive than buying a new system. And I was like, fuck you. Well, fuck you, Dolphin. Fuck you, Sony. I'm done.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why. It was overreacting. Passionately overreacting, but I was done.
Yeah.
I was done. Never bought a PlayStation since. But I have... Now I really wonder what it's like to play on a PS4 or 5 or even 3. But that first system, groundbreaking in the world of gaming, but also in my life. I had no idea that I would forget about all my other systems, my PC, and went for the PlayStation 1 like 2 years full on, with my sister, and I bought so much games. Also Dragon Ball Z games, I remember Dragon Ball GT Final Bout, having that one, and Time Crisis. I had the Namco gun with Time Crisis.
Oh, that's luxury.
Oh man, yeah, I know, right? I know.
Yeah, I never owned a PlayStation 1. I always played it at friends, because everyone in my class had a PlayStation 1. Yeah, it was the system, the go-to system at the time, definitely. Yeah.
So you didn't need to get one because...
No, it's the only game I really wanted to play at my friend's house was Tekken 3. It was like all I could think about. It had like 20 games. What I wanted to play was Tekken.
Yeah. Oh, I played that so much.
Yeah. But that brings me to my number 3.
Oh,
because
this
is very related. The Nintendo 64.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. Well, I got a Nintendo 64 growing up, a little bit late, but my niece always had a Nintendo 64, so I'd play there. And we back home had the Super Nintendo. But that was also very present early in my life, the Nintendo 64, and I kind of grew up with 2D and 3D gaming at the same time.
Yep.
So
same.
And the Nintendo 64 was just I still love the graphical style of it, the way the character models look, and the graphic style was a lot more consistent than with the PlayStation 1 and the Saturn. Yeah. The PlayStation 1 and the Saturn had like these wobbly moving pixels.
Yeah. The edges were rough.
Yeah. And with the Nintendo 64, it was this powerhouse that so many fun, iconic multiplayer games came out for, and it was also my first Zelda experience, Ocarina of Time. Bought that at the store for I think like 30 guilders or something, you know?
Guilders.
Were those guilders or euros? I'm not sure right now.
Gulden. That's how we used to call our currency. Gulden. Before the euros.
Yeah, for the viewers at home. Little Holland trivia.
Our lovely Dutch
geld. We houden van geld.
I hear so much from other people, also back in Leeuwarden, even in German people, that we are like all the time. Totally not conscious about it. But,
it's a hard sound.
I know. But back to the 64.
Yeah, 64. Yeah, I just
when I get older, losing my head.
I just thought it was the Nintendo 64. I think it was the first console with 4 controller ports built in.
No, the first one was the Atari 5200, but it was the first modern console.
And I thought that was such a given at that point. I was like, they brought out the PlayStation 2, and I was like, 2 controller ports? Is this the Middle Ages? I mean, come on, man. And I think that was great about Nintendo 64, but because everyone would bring along their controller, you would play Smash Bros. Or Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Racing, and
The Mario Party games.
Mario Party games, definitely. It was great for parties and birthdays.
Yeah. Oh man, I also played a lot in my college years. You know, just get a tons of beer, snacks, something to smoke, and everyone was there at 9, and they would leave at 3 in the morning, and we would just play a Mario Party, button bashing, fucking each other over in mini games. Great times.
Yeah, yeah, it's good stuff. It's always like everybody wants to play it, always.
Yeah.
You just ask, you're always up for it, and I think that's one of the most iconic things about it, and definitely its strength. But I also think it did a lot of because it was made with the Silicon Graphics PC, so it had a lot of power, and I think games like Wave Race still look so good, like the water and how it moves, and when I go back to play Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time, I really feel though that the graphics are really adding to the experience. There's a certain way textures are made, and the lighting effects in those Zelda games especially are so creepy. And when I saw the 3DS remake, I was like, doesn't really add anything for me. I think the visual style is very important in those games. Yeah. Have you played those?
Ocarina of Time. Nope. I've only seen it. Maybe I've played it at Niels' house back in the day, but I've never owned it. But what I loved about seeing it were these little, almost like fireflies, Tinkerbells. Those were really atmospheric, and the music is legendary. I've listened to the music in my free time a lot. I listen to a lot of Zelda music, period, in my free time. I love the soundtracks. But no, I haven't played it. Still on the list.
Okay, yeah. I think those Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask are like, two sides of the same coin. They have a lot of the same character models in Majora's Mask that were used in Ocarina of Time, because it's like this alternate universe. It's also, of course, a bit of technical efficiency to reuse them, but because they reused them, it made it so eerie to see the characters you saw in Hyrule Castletown, see in this new world and like these new personas, and it was
it came to life in a very new, different way.
It was just so uncanny, uncanny. I think that's what made it so memorable, and you can talk forever about Ocarina of Time. It's been called the best game of all time. I don't think so, but it's great. Everyone should play it. I think. Yeah.
Question: did you have the 64 back then? Yep. What edition did you have, or what color?
Just a standard black one.
Okay. Cool.
I have and now I have a Japanese version, a gold one I bought last year.
Yeah.
Very happy about that.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a nice version. Nintendo 64. It's my favorite 3D console, definitely. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're at 2 right now.
Number 2.
Because
bring it.
We're already talking for almost an hour, so we're going to pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2. Dus, the Sega motherfucking Genesis.
Really?
Or Mega Drive.
Oh, mine too.
Yeah,
mine too.
Let's share this entry. It was like this. I had the NES growing up, and my dad started working for Dell Computers, so we had personal computers in our homes very early on.
Yeah.
So after the 8-bit, I went into computers, and I was for a while less interested in consoles again. Then I saw the Sega Genesis at the local McDonald's, or the Mega Drive in our case. And
but Genesis is so much cooler.
It sounds way cooler. The Genesis device.
Yeah.
Wrath of Khan. Yeah. And I'm sure it's a Wrath of Khan reference. I'm almost sure of it. But I played it at the local McDonald's, believe it or not. I've mentioned it in some of my videos, and I was absolutely mesmerized by the graphics in the gameplay. I played that one of those McDonald's games, but also Sonic 1 and 2. I played. I was begging my parents all the time to go to McDonald's, but I didn't see me get fatter at all. I didn't care for the food. I just wanted to play Sonic. And after a while, a kid in my neighborhood got one and played it all the time at his house. Never got one in my youth myself, but I was so impressed, always from a distance, like, this is console gaming. This is console gaming. And after a while, one of the kids in my neighborhood got a Super Nintendo. I didn't give a shit. I really didn't give a shit. So I skipped the Super Nintendo big time. I didn't give a shit. The Sega Genesis.
You're the Sega boy now.
Yeah, come on. That's
like a baby story.
They were getting really late to the party, and I was already not impressed anymore because, a console, that's the Sega Genesis, that's a console, and otherwise I'll go for a PC. So I was really. I was always kind of opinionated, also an opinionated kid, an expressive kid, and a little, what's the word? We have a beautiful word in Holland, rigoureus. Weet je wel?
How are you going to translate that?
How you're going to translate that? Quick and ruthless in your decisions, emotional decisions when it comes to those things. But also you need to make choices because you only have so much space for memories in your head, and we also a friend of mine did that a lot back then. He identified with a product and defended it. Defended it like there was no yesterday or tomorrow, and we all kind of did that, and the Sega Genesis was the coolest thing. And
it was cooler than Nintendo, definitely.
And I also started watching the Sonic cartoons because I wanted to watch Power Rangers, and after a while I started watching whatever came before Power Rangers because I didn't want to miss it. Like later, I'm late to the party with consoles, but usually when I get to a party, I show up early, or an appointment. That's also when I was watching Power Rangers. I didn't want to miss it. But I started watching whatever was airing before that, and the Sonic cartoon.
Which one did you watch?
I'm not even. It was back then. It was called Telekids, even. Telekids.
Was it the one with Sonic and Tails? And
yeah.
It had like this intro.
Yeah, that's the typical Sonic intro. I'm not sure how the music was then, but it was with Tails, and I absolutely love Tails. And McDonald's had like these Happy Meals, with these little toys.
I still have it.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, I still have the Sonic.
I had the Tails one, and I was absolutely fan of Tails. I found him so cute. The idea that his tail was like a propeller. I'm not sure. It was so awesome to me. I'm not sure why it was so awesome. It was cute. It was awesome. He seemed like the very best friend you could have, Tails. I really loved it. So Sonic and Tails, that cartoon, the McDonald's, the coolness factor, the blackness of the thing, it all added to an experience that is unshatterable in my memory. It's not. It's so firm.
It's an empire.
It's an empire. Yeah, the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive. So that's my number 2. But wait! I want to hear more of your Sega Mega Drive Genesis memories, because it's also your number 2, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I got a Mega Drive at 15, I think. I was really into buying and into collecting, and I loved the Super Nintendo, and I bought some Genesis games through the Wii shopping channel. Yeah. And I thought like, oh, it's like Super Nintendo but different. Tell me more, So then I eventually bought one, and I bought a lot of games, and I was just like really collecting the classics. I was like, I want the Contra game, I want the Sonics, I want the Castlevania, I want Rise Star,
Altered Beast.
Altered Beast. Yeah, Altered Beast. Rise from your grave. And I think the Mega Drive had a lot of great platformers. Dynamite Heady and Rocket Knight Adventures was like so colorful and amazing.
Yeah.
And 2D platformers will always remain my favorite genre. So to have more of those games with the same quality the Super Nintendo had, it was just a really mesmerizing. Really mesmerizing. And yeah, I don't know, I might as well go to my number one right now, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's so entwined to me, you know?
I know.
Yeah, my favorite era is the 16-bit era, and my number one is of course the Super Nintendo. Also because I grew up with it.
I'm sorry, Super Nintendo, for what I said earlier. Yeah.
But you know that I didn't really get any of that competition growing up. You know, I was too young for that. But the moment I found out there was like a second Super Nintendo, but made by a different company who had crazier ideas, I was just like hooked. I thought these are my two companions. You know, they belong together. But the Super Nintendo is a number one for a reason, and that's because of the statement I made earlier. The games the consoles that are more successful are the ones that have bigger third-party support, and that's why the Super Nintendo, to me, has the better gaming library, because it has double the amount of games. For every like one good Sega Genesis game, there are 2 good Super Nintendo games. You know?
Yeah.
And the Super Nintendo was just there's so much to choose from. It's just so much.
They carried on what they did with the NES, that massive library. They just took their sweet time.
And it was for sale for also a long time, the Super Nintendo. So and I want to give a special shout out to my standout game series on the Super Nintendo, and that's the Mystical Ninja series, the Gambare Goemon. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but might sound a bit Spanish. But I think those games are amazing because they had top of the line graphics compared to other games. They had 2D platforming. They had RPG towns where you could buy armor and you had to talk to people and get clues. And it had first person mech battle fights.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah, it just had so much, and I always find it weird that there's not like more attention for this series. It's all been translated now. All the games on Super Nintendo have been translated, so you can play them all right now.
Show me soon, man. Do you have that game, or do you have the game or on every drive cartridge?
Yeah, I just play it on my Xbox.
Oh yeah,
my
obviously.
beautiful Xbox. Yeah.
You need to show it to me sometime, man.
Yeah, I think those games are everything what the Super Nintendo is capable of. The music was also that's also cool about the Genesis music comparison and the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
The Super Nintendo was capable of a lot more specific instruments.
Yep.
And in the
Genesis had more bass.
Yeah. And in the Mystical Ninja games, there's like this use of like when you play it, you hear classic Japanese instruments.
Oh,
it adds to the experience. It's a lovely series, and I'm not even an RPG player, so you know. And there are so
that's
many
saying a lot.
Yeah,
high praise.
Yeah, definitely. I don't even. There are like 100 great RPGs. I don't play them. I played maybe like 10 or something.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger you played as well.
Chrono Trigger, Earthbound I love.
Yeah, Earthbound.
You know, Secret of Mana. I think there's this very interesting game. I think that's what's great about the Super Nintendo. There's like these in every nook and cranny. It's like there's like these little experiences. There's like this game based on the Japanese author and poet Kenji Miyazawa, and you go to his hometown and you experience his folk tales through the characters you talk to. There's no battle system. I think it's just the most
that's awesome,
interesting and revolutionary game for that time. It really tried to be something different, and I think those little titles in the Super Nintendo library are what make it so diverse and pushing the envelope.
You can tell me a little bit about what you love about Earthbound.
Earthbound. Sure. Earthbound was the first game I imported from eBay. It was very exciting because I didn't know how to use PayPal and stuff like that. I was 15, 16, I think, and I paid 60 euros for it.
Nice.
Cartridge only.
Yeah.
But you know, back then it was still like a lot of money, and yeah, I think what Earthbound did with world building especially was so interesting, and yeah, it was
the weirdness of the dialogue and all the possibilities, everything that was weird. There was something weird put on top of it, but heart. There was heart all the underneath it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know, most RPGs were like about the Middle Ages, and I thought there was always like this castle drama going on. I could never really get into that. It was like, I don't think it was always written that well. And with Earthbound, it was something so. I feel it like I was actually reading something from a really good writer. Like the words were actually good, and I think with most, sorry people, but with a lot of Super Nintendo RPGs, the sentences are just crazy ugly, and the plot is usually fine, but like the writing itself, from the dialogue and the characters, is just. You
realized playing Earthbound that games were an absolute art form.
Yeah, definitely, and it really touched me in a lot of ways. That there were moments that were like really emotional. You have this character who Jeff, who comes to join the group. He's like the third musketeer, you know. Yeah, he comes to join them, and you start this scene with him in his boarding school in this winter country. And he gets this, this paranormal message from the girl Paula saying, "Help! You must come help us! You must come help us!" And he's like, "I have to do this. This is my life now. This is my mission."
Yeah.
But his best friend is like looking over him, and he's saying like, "Yeah, but okay. I don't really understand why, but you're my best friend, so I will help you." He doesn't even question this crazy message in this kid's head. He's just like, "Okay, let's do this," and he helps him escape from the boarding school, and he crouches over so he can step on his back to climb over the fence, and he says something like, "Whatever happens, you're my best friend, and good luck." And it was just like such a touching moment. A projection on how the world should be. Like I think so. And
being kind to each other without reason.
There's like total trust there.
Yeah,
and that's just like
beautiful.
One of all these little moments that Earthbound has, where I felt like, something is brewing here.
Yeah,
it's definitely different.
Something's brewing down there, and it's fixing to blow.
Yeah.
Because I've read a lot about the game, especially in recent weeks, and there are a lot of twists. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's something brewing and fixing to blow.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get to
your number one.
My number one.
Yes.
And my number one. Damn, I almost want to make you guess what my number one is.
The NES.
No,
no,
it's not. No, it's not my number one.
Is it a PC? Because that's cheating.
that's cheating. All right. No, I thought a lot about what console did I play the most on, have the most fun with, most memories, consciously or unconsciously cared the best for, and still when I look at it, I'm in love, even though it hasn't got the best games. But my favorite console of all time is the N64.
Oh, really?
Nintendo 64.
Oh,
yes.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right? It's I had to think deep about that yesterday, but I came to the conclusion that best times spent in my gaming history were with the N64. And it also saw this whole second life in my college years. But like I said, because I had the Xbox 360 and N64 setup, and it was back then also charming to play older games, and a lot of people I knew had memories of the N64 as well. So it had this whole second life for me with Mario Party 2 as well. But the original period with I was playing the shit out of Pokemon Red and Yellow on my Game Boy Color, so I bought Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, that was cool.
I actually had to go to the hospital for operations on my leg and foot, and I had my birthday in the hospital, and there was an N64 set up in this small space where the kids could play, and I actually made a lot of friends with the kids because on my birthday I got Pokemon Stadium, which was really just out then.
It was hard to find also.
It was
sold out everywhere.
Yeah, it was sold out everywhere, so we all had got to play it, and everyone had their cartridges, and it was such an amazing interactive experience. And obviously, seeing Mario 3D for the first time, it was revolutionary, and it's still perhaps one of the best or most impactful games of all time. And for me, I've heard a very good quote about it, like the in-house games and a few third-party games are absolutely amazing, but the rest of it are just racers, basically.
There's so many racing games.
There's so many racing games.
So many.
But I like them, and especially Diddy Kong Racing. I played the shit out of that with my best friend Niels back then, and we had all these crazy ways of playing. Most of the time, we didn't even finish a race. We just chose a plane and gathered as many missiles as we could, and we went hunting for each other against the currents, of the lap, and wrong way. And I was waiting for him somewhere, and we were teasing each other to come up and fly and search for each other. It was almost like tag or hide and seek. Just really, really fun memories. And I got mine a little bit late, and I went for back then you had the special editions, the transparent colored editions.
Ones, those were nice.
I could choose one, and all colors were available, and I got the orange one, which is a little bit rarer these days, I believe. But it's just a big monument to that time, and the interactiveness of game from my Game Boy, because actually the Game Boy Color is my favorite system of all time.
Oh, really?
The Game Boy Color. But console-wise, it's the N64. But they're intertwined for me. Those experiences. I played my Game Boy Color all the time when I was home. I went to the N64 with the Rumble Pack or the expansion pack and stuff like that.
There were so many great accessories for it. Like the Rumble Pack was also like the first.
Yes.
Yeah. I had Star Fox. That's my favorite Nintendo 64 game, definitely.
Awesome.
But it was a great experience to feel,
Yeah,
it was really different. But I think that's what defines Nintendo. It's like consistency and always pushing the envelope.
Always. And they did it from there on, and so it's also a monument to that. But it's almost tied memory-wise with the PlayStation. Like it's one of the happiest periods of my life. But the N64, I also realized that I was very kind to it. Always kind to it. Dusted it, even though I threw out all the Xbox games. I did that, or other stuff. My parents threw out my links when we moved out in 2007. I was probably saying, I don't give a fuck, but my girlfriend broke up with me a month before that, so I cared about nothing back then, right? So, But that's our top 5. Both of our top 5. And
can you name your top 5 one last time, so I also have it clearly in my head?
All right.
Yeah.
From 5 to 1, the Xbox 360, the Nintendo Wii, the Sony PlayStation, the Sega Genesis, and first the Nintendo 64.
It's a lot of 3D.
Yeah.
A lot of 3D consoles.
I know.
Yeah. Interesting. Because mine is Game Boy, original Xbox, Nintendo 64, Genesis, Super Nintendo.
Yep.
Yes.
It's because I didn't grow up with the Super Nintendo. I'm discovering it right now.
Oh.
And now I think it's probably the best console there is.
Yeah.
I had to really base it on my own sentiment and experiences, because otherwise the PC Engine would be up there, and I've only seen stuff of the Dreamcast, but if I get to play it, have it over time, somewhere in the future, it will be in that top 5 as well.
Jet Set Radio #1.
Yep, Jet Set Radio #1.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to conclude our first podcast, because I believe we both have to pee, like, enormously.
Yep.
Yes, I can see it in your face. You can see it in my face.
I'm going right now.
All right. All right. And with that,
we end our journey to Silius podcast. I'm Funky Steve.
And I'm Dennis the Menace.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.